There we go. There we go. Coming up today on Mornings in the Lab, in our deep dive, I'm going to get real about the single biggest fear that I faced building a company and how I finally overcame it. Coming up in center stage, somebody actually sold their company for $50 million. That was me too. And it wasn't with monopoly money. I'm going to unpack that exit and how you can do it too. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can maximize your earnout or maximize your ability to sell your company if you want to sell your company. Morning Loop Reloaded in the second hour, bringing you 10 science-backed ways to feel younger. And spoiler alert, none of them involve NFTs or TikTok. We got Jorie Janssen joining us at the 8:45 mark of the show, coming in with the protein break. We're going to talk vegetables that aren't healthy for you. Yes, there are vegetables that are not healthy for you. We're going to get into them as well today. Jack Reamer, the LinkedIn sales expert, the guy that's got a 55% reply rate after taking a year and a half off of email. He's going to be in on the second hour of the show today. And we're going to kick things off with a few things this morning. We're going to kick into how much time you need to rest in between your bench press workouts. And we're going to talk secret fantasies that women rarely share, that they don't talk to us men about. I've discovered them. I got a list of them. We're going to talk about it this morning, fellas. Hey, listen, just a reminder, this show might be explicit because my buddy John Andersen here and C. Marty is here, and those guys like to drop some language that is offensive because I do speak very cleanly all the time. So if you got kids that might be offended, put the headphones in, or parents, if you're offended, put the headphones in as well. We have conversations that happen in the gym, in the locker room, in spaces where typically children do not hang out. So I invite you to have that awareness. And remember, like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends about the greatest morning show for men that goes live here every single day. 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, and now dropping immediately after the show on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. The reality is we are ubiquitous, the only morning show for men happening every single day. Listen, you guys can download podcasts left and right, but podcasts are yesterday. Live conversations happen daily, and we are proud to host them every single day here in the lab. All right, as I said, I got my buddies here coming in this morning. Here we got John Andersen, the world's strongest man, and C. Marty Fit, the world's most handsome man, coming in from Maryland. Good morning, Mubashir Khan. I see you there in the comments. Good to have you here this morning in the lab. I invite you to subscribe and tell your friends about this channel. Andersen, Johnny A., what's shaking, my brother?
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm fantastic. You're looking like Captain America today. I always like when you had that outfit on. You got the blue and the red on and the black glasses. That's your Captain America outfit. That's how
it's one of these shirts that's just so comfortable. It's like, God damn it. It's and then once I put my shirt on, I decide what color hat am I going to wear?
That's right. That's right. Well, it looks like the cotton, the way that it fits you, the way that it looks through the camera, I think Marty can relate. It looks like a soft, nice fitted cotton.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Extraordinarily. I mean, it feels really, really nice on my skin.
I bet it. Mubashir, what's shaking, brother? Good to have you here in the comments. Wow. Yo, yes, we are live. We are interacting with you. And so is the world's most handsome man. Mubashir, I'd like to introduce you to Christopher Martin, C. Marty Fit.
What's up, baby? What's going on, guys? How's it going, man?
Good to have you here, my brother. What's shaking today? How was your day yesterday in the gym? Did you have any confrontations yesterday on the gym floor, Christopher Martin?
Confrontations? No confrontations. I've only had one confrontation.
He works in a gym, not a prison.
Yeah, man. You'd be surprised though, man. It gets a little hostile sometimes.
I would suspect that it would get a little hostile every now and then. Yeah,
because like I said, they don't expect that I'm the manager sometimes. So I gotta we got this room where it's staff only, but people like to take phone calls back there. So I got to go and say, hey, get up out of there. And they always say some slick shit to me. So
they're like, oh, why is this thug running the gym? You're like, yeah, fuck
that's what they're thinking in their head. And then when I start talking, and their thoughts change a little bit.
Like, oh, it's a thug with intellect. Oh, yeah. It's an intellectual thug.
I love it. I love that shit. I love it.
There's a thug that will do the shit that you won't do. So since I'm doing it, that means I get to tell you what to do. So go on now.
I love it.
Hey, so Johnny, you've owned a gym. Marty, you work in a gym to this day. I have maybe one of the most important questions for us bench pressers for International Bench Press Day. How long should we be resting in between sets? Because I found some research, guys, that might.
Well, what's the goal? What's the goal behind behind the exercise?
Oh yeah,
it's an impossible question to answer.
Do reps.
It's like saying, what kind of car should I drive today? Well, do you need to go fast? Do you need to climb a hill? Are you on a paved road? Are you,
Yeah, well, that's a fair question, Andersen. Mubashar, what's your question? Throw your question out there. Well, guys, listen. So there's some. I found some studies that confirm that
that's good.
Rest intervals of 3 to 5 minutes between sets are optimal for maximal strength development, helping sustain repetition intensity, especially under heavy loads. And then, guys, the research even went so far as to point out that rest periods of up to 8 minutes maximized overall training volume and performance sustainability across multiple sets. Now, guys, on the flip side, before I stop here, is for lighter weight or muscle building hypertrophy, a shorter rest of 1 to 3 minutes might be enough, depending on your goals and intensity. How would you guys wrap your head around kind of these floating statements?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Want to go first, Marty? You want me to dive in there, baby?
Go ahead, dive in there. Go ahead.
So we're talking about these really long rest periods. You're talking about, what you're saying is correct. But what I just want to make sure is that people are not misled by this.
Yeah.
So you're talking at the extreme tips of this thing, like, this 5 to 8 minute deal.
Yes.
You're talking about like a fucking elite lifter. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in many cases, I don't want somebody to hear this and go, oh man, I gotta wait 8 minutes between my sets of bench press. And they fucking go to the gym and all they get is 5 sets of bench press and like, well, fuck, I gotta go home now.
That's why I want.
You're not gonna make that much progress with these rest periods. It's not some fucking silver bullet. We're talking about research shows that there's some movement this direction. Yes, there is. Well, do you want to commit 20 years to this concept to get strong? I get it, but don't go to the gym thinking that you're going to get strong tomorrow. Waste a shitload of fucking time talking to whomever between these fucking sets. Because keep in mind, the people that are using these long sets, they're also focused on their next set between those long sets. So the poor bastards, meandering through the gym, this is not part of their thought process. So here's what I say. You want to fucking make progress? It's your sweet spot. Your sweet spot constantly changes. So it could change on how you're feeling, how you slept, how much weight you have. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Finish your set. Start to listen to yourself. Your body will talk to you. You want to wait enough time that you can go back to the bar and kick ass again.
Yes.
But not so little time that you're not recovered and you can't give that 100% effort. Too much time, you're wasting time. Too little time, you're not ready to go. That's your sweet spot. So reps of 10, that rest period was going to be different than reps of 5, because that reps 10, you're going to be huffing and puffing. Just to catch your breath is going to take longer. Marty.
Yeah, it depends how you can train and how much time you have to train. Right. So a lot of times my workouts, I don't even have enough time to wait 8 minutes in between.
Yeah.
I got a good 45
minutes. Nobody does, brother. That's why I wanted to put some roadblock in front of this fucking thing before people are like, oh my God, I got this is what they said.
Yeah. Fuck. But it depends. And then, for me, I just had the race, which I plan on doing another one. It's high intensity. And it's less rest periods, so it wouldn't even benefit me. So it depends on it depends on a lot. We could do a whole hour on this topic probably.
Boys, for the most part, if I was to paint a broad brush, 60 to 90 to 120 seconds, a minute to 2 minutes. Again, Johnny, I'm not trying to carve anything in stone. Just purely offering some generic guidance of some sort, but. That's not unreasonable between sets. Would we agree with that statement? 60 to 101 to 2 minutes?
Well, I think it's still too broad.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is you're telling someone to pay attention to a metric that doesn't really give them any fucking information.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
stare at the fucking clock. Yeah. Pay attention to the clock. No, listen to your body is talking to you, dipshit. You're not fucking listening.
No, but John,
because it might be 60 seconds. It might be fucking we don't know.
But I like this though. I like this. Hold on, Marty. I like this because we're so often given a box, 60 seconds, 120 seconds. What you guys are both saying is that that's fine, but that's one metric. Really pay attention to your body and what your body's telling you, not to what the clock is telling you. Marty.
Yeah, I'm just going to take that a step further. So for myself, let's say I'm benching.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give myself enough time to recover, but I actually want to be a little exhausted going into the next set.
Yeah.
Well, I want to, brother. That's perfect, because that's what I was going to say. This whole 60-second rest period was designed to not let you recover. When they give you a rest period, in most cases, they're trying to get you to move fucking faster.
Oh yeah. Good conversation, guys. Because like I said, and again, I was having this conversation with a hockey parent yesterday. The reason this industry, and we said it yesterday in the show, the reason this fitness lifestyle industry has so many things going on is because at the end of the day, it's just pretty boring. Be simple, be consistent, listen to your body. So, because you're going to talk to 10 guys, one guy's going to tell you 60 seconds, one guy's going to tell you 120 seconds, some research is going to tell you 3 minutes. But at the end of the day, I'm under the bench, John's under the bench, Marty's under the bench. What our body's telling us is all telling us 3 different stories. Listen to your story. What's going to tell you the right approach to have the success you want? John Andersen.
100%. And here's the thing. Most people complain about not having the time.
Yeah.
Let's just bring that into this equation. So
great point.
Finish a fucking set, right? Listen to the body and try this versus finish a fucking set and talk to somebody or fucking scroll on your phone. Because I guarantee you are burning way past the time that you're thinking, oh yeah, I take about 2 minutes rest period. Well, actually look at that, how long you're taking when you're fucking scrolling, because I guarantee you're not back to that bar in 2 fucking minutes, or when you're talking to somebody else on the machine next to you. Time is blistering fucking fast in those situations, and you're not getting back efficiently. So this is really a good topic for people. Remember, you say you don't have the time, so be efficient with your time.
This is why I love this, because when I saw the article, Marty, I'm like, hey, this is great for the boys, because the boys are going to have strong opinions on this that are real life opinions, not opinions from a lab or from a research study. This is real life stuff. And to both your guys' points, most folks can't even get into the gym because they're busy hitting snooze. So while somebody's hitting snooze for 9 minutes, somebody's resting for 8 minutes. They are, it's like, wait a minute, just go on and get your fucking lift done. So guys, listen, remember, Marty.
Yeah, I know you're trying to wrap up, but I got to add this.
Yeah.
And, really look at who you're listening to, right?
Yes.
You take someone like John, he's been through the process. He's lifted a lot of weights. He's trained athletes. He's trained with bodybuilders, Listen to him, right? I know I'm not as experienced as John, but I've been an athlete. I've trained athletes. So just be careful listening to somebody who just got something straight from a book. Right, just be careful with that. And then I want to add something to the phone conversation. I actually do pick up my phone in the workout, but it's 2 things: you're changing a song, or if it might be an urgent message, as far as business or with work, you respond to it, you get right back. That's it. No doom scrolling during a freaking workout. So I just want to add that.
Marty, great advice on who you're listening to, right? That's, because guys, I'm one person to say something, but that's why I surround myself with the experts, John and Marty. So I'm going to tee up the softball, and these guys are going to hit it out there, because these guys are the ones you want to listen to. The bottom line is this: don't rush your results. You got to rest smarter, lift stronger, and you're probably going to watch that performance soar instead of watching your thumb scroll over on the doom scrolling I got to imagine the doom scrolling that happens in gyms is unbelievable, Marty, these days.
Yeah, it's insane, actually.
I haven't been to a commercial public gym since social has been as prominent as it is now, and Johnny, you haven't owned a gym. I would imagine you would not function well owning a gym in today's world. You're like, what the fuck y'all doing, man? Put your phones down.
Well, see, I owned a gym that was a little different.
Yes.
Number one, I called it private.
Yes,
so that I could fucking choose who came in there.
Oh yes, smart.
And and there was when we had the teen groups.
Yeah.
You know, like the guys that were was really trying to kick ass. Your phones belong over there. You know, it was a set of rules that, you know, if you didn't follow, that was simple enough, and it was expensive too. So you had to fucking pay the cheapest membership was $250 a month, and it's almost like you had to qualify to get in. So it was like this. It was a different environment, which is, I think, part of why people dug it.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. That's exactly like Focus Fitness, where AJ trains there, which is very much a private gym. Well, a semi-private gym. It's for elite level humans. So,
but I gotta put one thing on this whole idea of time and this whole idea of training, and so most people, they're basically training after work in the evening time. That's we agree on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're bitching about time and you're trying to get ahead, this is what I would do. If I was a guy who had to wake up and fucking get into my car to commute to fucking work, go to fucking work, finish work, go to the gym, and come home, and I was bitching about time, I would flip the fucking schedule on. You know that everybody is commuting on that fucking freeway at the same time. And you know everybody is in that fucking gym right after the work. Yeah. So flip the script. Get up early, go to the gym when no one's there, find a gym by your work. So you're going to drive, you're going to do this commute when everybody's sleeping.
Yes.
Right? Train about the time people are commuting, right? Then you go to work, get up. You're basically, what you're doing is you're just shifting the schedule. So rather than try to compete with everybody for road space and machines, now you've just flipped it around to where you're going to do everything a little bit before them. And you will, the amount of time you will save will blow your mind.
Johnny, if you work from home, anybody working from home should not be going to the grocery store or to the regular places that regular society goes to during, like on Saturday or Sunday, or during like the regular time. Like, it's just, there's no reason to be going to the grocery store on Saturday if you work from home, when you can go on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, or Friday.
There's no reason to go to the grocery store ever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this though, Johnny. I actually like getting the extra steps in after my workout in the grocery store. I like doing that. That's the only reason I go. I like getting extra steps in.
You might find a hot chick in the vegetable department too, Marty.
There's one grocery store around I'm not gonna say which one. But I can always find something in there. I will say that. You know.
And at some point, Mark, as you develop, you'll realize that you want those steps in a place that's going to be probably a little bit more nurturing to what it is that you're doing with your life. At this point, the grocery store does a trick.
Yeah, I'm in a different era of my life, but I believe you 100%. I believe you. So I'm going to take that, put it in my memory bank.
Yeah,
for 20 years down the road.
You're gonna find. Well, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna find yourself going, God damn it, is this a really good investment of my time? Yep. It's the question of time that's gonna get. That's what from the time up, because I went right into being an entrepreneur. I never got a job. It immediately my time, because I became a money creator. I wasn't trading my time for money.
Yep.
So when you're a creator, you look around and go, God damn it, it's going to take me an hour to do that. But look what I can do with an hour if I work on my business.
Yep.
And then you quit. You just start fucking looking around and going, not doing that anymore, not doing that anymore, not doing that anymore. Because when it comes down to it, if you can pay someone to do something for you, let's just say that, toss $25-$30 an hour to have someone do something for you. Well, are you worth that? Well, if you fucking are, then that person does it for you.
Yep.
So I have a point of view on the grocery store. Johnny, Marty might be actually smarter than we think. I worked in the grocery store for 7 years. And what you can tell about everybody has to eat. What you can tell about a human being as they go to the grocery store is quite amazing. Do they spend their time up and down the packaged foods? Do they look in their grocery cart and you see what they look like and see the food they're buying? Or are you finding a nice, attractive young lady who's walking around the outside of the store, picking up the vegetables, picking up the protein, wearing her Lululemons? Go ahead, Marty, hit the button. You can see the habits, Johnny, right on display right in front of you. Because every time she makes a selection, Johnny, she's showing you her habit. right? She's picking the vegetables. She's picking all the good food. And then you look at her physique and you're like, okay, so I'm attracted to her physique, and look at the food in her grocery store and her cart. You're like, okay, I might be attracted to what's going inside her. I'm going to spend more time in the grocery store. Boys, I'm telling you, man, the grocery store.
I would have just traded that up for like, okay, I just tell that chick, look, go ahead and make me some fucking dinner, bring it over, and then I'll see what you did with the food, and I'll decide that's good too. I can take all of this fucking elongated observing and fucking get it done in just a few fucking minutes as I eat something and decide if I want to bone you before I send you on your way.
Well, Johnny's sitting in the strip joint, Marty.
Yeah. Well, I say this too, though, Johnny. You had to go find Terry somewhere. Yeah. You ain't find her on Instacart unless she delivered your groceries.
Well, the thing about it is when there's you get to a certain point where you're already clearly there, brother, but you kind of start to attract. And there's some dudes that have to really work on drawing females in, and some people have to really work on drawing them in. Others that just kind of come on in.
I argue with my boys about this shit all the time.
Oh yeah.
And so the thing is, here's the crazy thing is that you got to kind of figure out what is it that you're putting out that's drawn in these chicks. So Terry kind of came along at a time where I had kind of changed my energy. Like what I was actually available for was different than it was, a few years before that. That makes sense. Yeah. And so she was at the front end, like, they say there's the beta, alpha, and then the sigma, right? Yeah. The sigma is kind of like the evolved version of the alpha, where, like spending time by yourself becomes very important all of a sudden, shit like that. Avoiding things that's going to distract you. This is this was the behavior pattern I just entered into when Terry came along.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of one of those things where she kind of fit right in where she needed to. And it just was like a click.
Marty's walking around the grocery store with the Pete Davidson energy.
What's the energy is that?
The BDE energy.
Oh my God. This guy.
What?
The BDE that bends.
Real quick, Keith, check your boy out this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
The what? Hold on. What are we talking about?
The BDE, the big dick energy. Christopher.
Oh, Jesus Christ! There's an actual acronym for that.
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, we gotta fast forward Johnny a few years.
This old man dad bad humor going on there. That's all it is, Marty. You know what it is.
Yeah, I know exactly what BDE is.
Man. That's a good fucking. That's an action shot, man.
Yeah, I got a couple
I missed it, brother. Put it back up. I missed it.
He was too busy deciphering the definition.
I was trying to fucking figure out what you're talking about.
That's awesome, man.
There you go, baby.
Fucking getting the ropes. That's awesome.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
all right, let's do the accountability check-in. Then we're going to come back and keep it rolling here, boys. Some center stage and some deep dive. All right. Uncle Keith's up. 3 simple ways to win your day every single day. Yes. Let's go right now. The next 24 hours, don't care if you're tired, overwhelmed, or you're stuck because they're going to pass anyways. How do I know? I'm going to be here in 24 hours from now. Jimmy, I'll see you in 24. And you're either going to lead or follow. You're either going to show up or make excuses. Or, Kelly, at least you're going to hit the snooze button. Kelly, I'm watching you. I'm paying attention to you. So neither care about your workload, your stress, or how little you slept. But choosing one leads to results and the other to mediocrity. It's 100% in your hands. And here's how exactly I stayed locked in every single day. I won the morning. My morning routine is not negotiable, guys. Nope, not at all. Nope. It's when I take care of myself so I can own the rest of the day, decide the night before, identifying what's important for the next day before I go to bed, and set the intention to do it. It prevents that hesitation and decision fatigue. Don't make it in the morning because your brain's going to set you in that direction. Make it the night before. And I do it by sharing my commitments publicly right here on the show. See you guys tomorrow. How do you know? Because I'll be here. Listen, when others know my intentions, falling short isn't an option. What's the bottom line? Every choice you make is a statement, you guys. A statement of who you're becoming and the life you'll look back on. Me, I choose to be a business athlete every single day. I choose results. That's what I choose every single day. And what about you? Are you choosing to snooze? Are you choosing excuses? Or is today the day you're going to choose execution? That's the question I got for you this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right, we got into it first thing this morning. We jumped into a big chat about how long you should be resting, guys. And you heard the facts from John and Marty. Let's get into center stage. I'm going to kick it off as the boys are coming back here. Guys, listen. So today for center stage, I got a topic here on how you can maximize your exit too if you're a business owner or if you're considering being a business owner. How I sold my company for $50 million. Now, it sounds amazing, right? But here is the truth. It was not luck at all. No, it was strategic. Today, for the next few moments, I'm going to share exactly how I did it and how you can apply these strategies to maximize the value when you're selling or building your own business. I'm going to give you guys some things to think about along the way, things that I didn't realize until I went through it. Now, listen, guys, selling your business is a life-changing event. Damn right it is. And doing it right can set you up for financial freedom forever and allows you to invest in your future passions and ensuring that your legacy for yourself and your family is secure. Well, listen, understanding these steps we're going to talk about in the next few moments can be the difference between a good deal and an extraordinary exit. So listen, let's get into it, guys. Right off the bat, if you're looking to sell or exit your company, or as you're starting and growing your company, you want to be thinking about this. Defining some clear and specific exit goals that's going to shape your timing, your buyer selection, and your deal structure. Are you looking at getting out of this thing in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Johnny sold his gym. Was it something he was thinking about over time? What was the objectives along the way? And then, guys, one of the things too you have to be thinking about is proactively conducting due diligence on your own business. This is a big one, you guys. I'm going to tell you this straight up right now, be blunt. If you're expecting somebody to give you millions of dollars for your business, expect to be probed in every area of your body and your P&L. Nobody's going to give you millions of dollars if you can't answer questions. So the best thing that you can do is to spend your own money auditing your own financials. Have somebody to come in to rake through the compliance. Have somebody come in and look through all of your customer health, everything in your own business before you become invulnerable and stand up in front of somebody else. Because again, they're going to be asking you those same questions. Guys, I can tell you this. I've lost a lot of deals with companies I've tried to buy because I've went in and I'll do a role play with Johnny and Marty. I'm sitting in front of them and saying, hey, can I see your books? And they're looking at me going, well, I really can't answer this question. I can't answer that question. I'm like, well, yeah, but you want me to give you millions of dollars for your company? Yeah, well, it's this. No. If you want my millions of dollars, if you want to change your life, then we're going to have to do a significant amount of diligence. The trick is have somebody do it for you on behalf of. Now, you're going to say to me, yeah, but I don't want to go spend the money on it. Well, then you're not going to get the millions of bucks in return. So yeah, you might be spending tens, 20, hundreds of thousands of dollars on auditing your books, on legal fees. But if you're going to spend $100 grand to make 50 million, it might be a good bet. So guys, I cannot emphasize enough the onus is on you to audit your books, audit your business before you go outside to go talk to somebody else. Guys, you want to jump in here before I keep going in this one? Marty, I know you and I have been talking about this over the years, over the last year and a half too, just with guys that wanted to sell their business, just don't really understand the value on diligence and what they need to have done behind the scenes. And then Johnny, yourself too, when you were selling your business, when you think about diligence, do you think about how difficult it can be to dot those I's and cross those T's? Guys.
Well, I think if people put this into a different spectrum, it's like, you have to, if you're going to basically if you're going to prepare to sell your car, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're going to prepare to buy another car,
good example.
You're going to have to fucking spend a little bit of money to have a fucking mechanic look under the hood.
Good example.
If it's somebody else's car.
Great example.
I don't fucking know. I need an expert to look. If I'm selling my car, well, shit, I better change the oil, better make sure the fucking tires are all good to go. Because when I sell it, some fucker is going to try to hit me for these costs, and I'd rather come in sharp. Because he finds one problem, he's going to look for a bunch more.
Yes. Marty, comment on the diligence side of things.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready, man.
Oh, that's exactly it. My goodness, both you guys' advice is so simple and so accurate. Because when I was going through it, I was surprised. I'll be the first person to admit I was surprised at how ready I had to get, Marty. Right? And Johnny, to use the car analogy, how much work I needed to do on the car. Now, granted, I'm neurotic to start with. So as we were building the business, again, if I can offer advice, guys, the little details matter. right? So as you're getting to the point of looking to sell your company or build your business and somebody's showing interest, those I's dotted and those T's crossed matter, right? The more T's crossed, the more I's that are dotted. What it shows John and Marty as the potential buyers is you're detail focused. And then if you pay attention to the details, they're thinking, oh, this guy's a smart business operator. Oh, I might be more comfortable opening up my wallet. Oh, I might be comfortable asking less questions. So, as an operator of a business, again, Johnny, we go back to lift and weight. Those 2.5 pounds on a 225 bench, when you add 2.5 on each side, those details are the difference between making the lift or not. It's the same way when I have a period on the end of a sentence or a T on the or a cross, and you're like, oh, is this guy really missing? Or just trying to pull the wool over my eyes? It's the same methodology, right? You got to follow the details, you guys.
And that's it. When I sold my first company, right. I mean, I was young. I was in my 20s, but I was already a fairly decent version of me doing the shit that most people wouldn't do. And the guy that bought it, he came in, he registered. He was like, okay, look at this guy. This is what he did to build this. Right. And building a company is the fucking hardest part. Once it's up and fucking running, it's usually that running it there is much easier than getting it there.
Yes.
And so he looked at me and he was like, okay, this motherfucker did the hard work. I just want to come in and fucking reap the benefits.
That's it.
And so as soon as he looked around and realized that, hey, kind of like what Marty said, if you're always ready, he recognized that he didn't find these places that I'll do this later. He didn't find any of that shit in my world, and he spent a lot of time too. That fucker, Jesus Christ. But the thing was, he was more investigating me. But
bingo. But that's just my point, Johnny, is that when somebody's buying your business, they're buying the habits you put into building that thing. That's what they're buying. They're buying all the work and sweat that you put in. So if Marty's not dotting the I's and crossing the T's and cleaning the corners and putting value back into the business, somebody's looking at, what are you talking? I'm not giving you money, right? And what I find fascinating about this, guys, is that I've been in situations where I've looked at companies to buy, and the owners have looked at me like, why are you asking me all these questions about this? I'm like, you want my money? I'd like to learn about your car or your rest. You know what I mean? And it's just, guys, you need to get your house in order if you're looking to sell your company. Marty, I saw you wanted to lean in on something there.
I did want to lean in something. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot what I was going to say. It was good too. It was good.
Well, go along with the car analogy, I can't say that I know how this would directly translate.
Oh, I had a question for Johnny. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I do know, like with, when you're first buying cars, of course, you're looking at a vehicle and you're like, okay, this looks fucking great in pictures. If you get up close, look at all the fucking grime and the fucking cracks in this thing.
Yes.
Right. And so, but keep in mind, really what you're dealing with is the caliber of the fucking person.
Yes.
The car is not the fucking car's fault that it wasn't taken care of. And so, like with cars, I just found myself a fucking broker. And his job is to deliver and our deal is this: if there's a single problem, I'll send it back. If you tell me about these problems and I have a list of, hey, there's a scratch here, there's a that there, good. But this is the standard that I operate off of. So
yes,
because now I'm dealing with that standard of a person, right? Because usually the things and the habits and the services are connected to the character of the person. So you got to find, if you're going to buy something and you can find the right character, it's going to be much easier to buy the thing you're looking for.
Well, and Marty, I know you got a question for Johnny here. I'm going to come back to you in a quick second. And that's what the last little piece of advice I'd give for somebody who's looking to exit is, and Johnny said a broker, find a broker for yourself. Find somebody who can help you sell your business. Or if you're looking to think about selling your business or something along those lines, because they're going to ask you questions you're not thinking about. They're going to put you through diligence you're not going to be thinking about. And they're going to hold you accountable to the I's being dotted and the T's being crossed.
Their
Marty,
fees are well worth it, too.
100% they are. Marty?
So this is a question for Johnny, and then it trickles to you, Keith.
Yeah.
So Johnny, you sold your boutique gym, right? So when you sell it, are you like hands off, or are you still a part of it? You still have any affiliation with it? And same for you, Keith.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing: when you sell something, right? If you're a business, forgive me, if you're still like actively working in the business, you're not really selling a business. You're selling you. That doesn't sell for much. What you want to sell something that you don't have to be there. You got someone that does the sales. You got someone that does this. Your role is to kind of just oversee. Gotcha. That makes sense. Where you could split. Now you're selling that independent thing. If I was like, if I wanted to say sell a business and I was, grinding away in there every day and I had multiple hats I was wearing, he would have to buy that fucking business comp with, basically me in it or have a replace me, which that's a messy fucking deal. That makes sense?
Yeah, I got you.
When you're selling a business, you want it to be like that, its own self-contained thing.
Right, I see what you're saying.
And that's a key point, right? Is that you got to get out of the business to sell the business so the business can be bigger than yourself, right?
Yep.
So
if you're still working in it, you're going to have a hard time selling that fucker.
Yeah. So for me, Marty, when I sold ICUC, we sold the company. I stuck around as the CEO and ran it for 10 years. So I was fortunate where sold the company, sold all my shares, all my equity. I became an employee of the big corporation. So I became a corporate employee and collected a salary for 10 years as I ran the company. So a little different, but I did effectively sell the company, right? So the company was sold and somebody else owned it. And I was able to just run it as the CEO. So, all right, good conversation on how to sell your business and how you can maximize the value in that. We're going to do the fit tip with Marty, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to drop a quick little conversation on where is my topic here? It is hold on, guys. It is.
I got to roll out the fit tip early today.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and then I'm going to get into. Or is it here? Well, listen, let's do this. Marty, you get after, brother.
Appreciate it. All right, let's get it. Fit tip for today, man. We got when you go to the gym and you're busy and you're pressed for time and you got to fit it in your schedule, what you don't want to do is go in there and do straight isolation movements or just straight cardio, unless it's like a day designated to cardio, right? But you don't want to go in there and isolate every day, and you don't want to go in there and do straight cardio every day. Do not underestimate the power of compound movements. What are compound movements? Me and Johnny and Keith have talked about this before, but it's been a while. These are exercises where you work in more than one muscle, all right? Think of a deadlift. Think of a squat, a lat pull down, chest press, right? You want to go in there and hit these big movements because you're going to get the best bang for your buck. You're going to burn more calories and it's going to help you increase your metabolism. Of course, you have to eat accordingly. You have to stay hydrated. But when you hit these moves regularly, that's going to lead to results. That's going to lead to losing the belly fat. That's going to lead to the muscle building, and it's going to lead to looking like the desired body that you want to look like. Because let's be real, we going to the gym, we got our membership, we got our personal trainers, we want to look good, we want to look bomb. So don't underestimate compound movements. Hit those if you can 3 times a week. I say 3 to 5 if you got time for it, if you can get in there. But compound movements is what's going to take your fitness game to the next level. Still do isolation movements. Still do still do your cardio with that, of course. But the bread and butter, compound movements. That's the fitness tip for today.
Compound movements, that's the key to it, boys. You got to get after it, lift those heavy weights. And if you're doing compound movements, you're not spending forever in the gym. Get in with some big movements and get after it.
Yes, sir.
You know, on that level, just so everybody understands, if you don't know compound movement, because there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a lot
if you were to take a bar, and of course, this is just a really simple way to find a whole lot of them easy. If you're working with a barbell and you're standing up, not seated or bent over, as long as you're not sitting in a chair and you're using a fucking barbell, you've got a compound movement going on.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's a good tip right there.
Even if you're fucking standing up doing a straight bar fucking barbell curl, there's other shit. Your core is engaged.
You're right.
You are doing some other shit. So standing, barbell in your hand, you can't fucking. I challenge you to find a non-compound movement.
Yeah, Marty, this is what we have the old dog in the lab, man. We get
He's
this.
right.
We get nuggets dropping from the sky. That 30 years of experience, 40 years of experience.
I say, don't shortchange me, goddammit. That's 4 decades plus, baby.
Marty, brother, I love you, man. Enjoy your day today. Get after it. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, man. I'll be here.
Marty's gonna get
a good loop, my brother.
You too.
All right, Keith and John are keeping it going. Here we go. Jorie joining us in a few moments. We're going to talk about. I got a surprising one for John and Jorie here. They have no idea, but vegetables that aren't healthy for you coming up in a few moments. Like, what the hell is he talking about? But before we do that, Johnny, I want to talk for a few moments about the big topic today. My biggest fear as an entrepreneur and how I overcame it. And here we go. So, Jimmy, here's our hook for this morning. Guys, have you ever felt the chilling weight of regret? That quiet voice whispering, what if? Well, I'm going to be frank and vulnerable, honest right now in this second. Because the funny thing is, I'm living this right now. And I'm overcoming it every single day. How? By showing up every single morning in front of this camera and microphone with John and you guys and starting the conversation. But let's get back to my biggest fear as an entrepreneur. It's regret. It's the haunting thought of waking up one day, looking back and realizing I did not go all in. Maybe it comes with age, Johnny. Maybe it comes with just experience. And it's just this idea that I've left my dreams unexplored, ideas unexplored, potential untapped. And to me, it's not failure, John. Because to me, failure is a companion that I've grown to appreciate. Every stumble, every setback, it's packed with lessons that I've learned. I welcome failure every single day because it means I'm pushing my limits, growing, evolving, or as John likes to say, the closer I get to darkness, the closer I am to the light. There's truth in that. But regret, oh man, Johnny, regret's different, man. It doesn't teach. It just lingers. And that's why I refuse to give regret room to breathe in my life. I'm wary of regret because it whispers about the chances that I didn't take, the mornings that I may have slept in, the conversations that I didn't start. And regret thrives in silence and in action. So, guys, every single day, I choose one thing. I choose to silence my regret by getting up and moving forward daily, taking action, and embracing every opportunity to connect, engage, be curious, and explore. Every conversation I start, every risk I take, and every day I commit to my vision pushes further the regret that hangs around me further away. So guys, I ask you this, and Johnny, I ask you this. How about you? Are you living with regret or are you actively pushing it away? Because every single day, my biggest fear as an entrepreneur is regret. And how I overcome it every single day is by getting up and creating momentum so I can create movement. John?
Well, I would say, I agree with everything you're saying. For me, if regret sneaks into my head, I've lost my focus.
Yeah.
I look at it more in a singular, like it's, granted, you're explaining what you're doing every day to keep it at bay. 100%. It's if you're moving forward, the odds are that shit will leave you alone. It's when you're sitting on your ass and you're thinking, if you're not,
yes,
I guess if you're actively, progressively moving forward, your mind doesn't have space for that.
Yes, we had a guest on the show recently, Johnny. I'm trying to think who it was who talked about the fact they just started creating movement, and that movement just created momentum. And I know you and I have that same philosophy. And to me, when I'm moving away from regret because I don't have time to create. And I don't like the word because I think too often folks just
you're moving away from a lot more than regret. Moving away from all the fucked up shit that comes along with that voice in our heads that says, "Get the fuck up." Yes. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know, but I don't like the word regret because I believe many, and I don't want to paint the broad brush, but I believe many folks hang the word regret out there because it's an easy way to say I regret it, but I didn't learn anything. Well, hold on a second here. No, because it's just I regret it, and it's just like saying I regret it, putting it on the shelf and not doing anything about it. No, what did you learn from it? Are you doing it again? Are you running away from it? Are you walking away from it? Regret to me is like the opposite of intention. When you're intentional, it's scary because you got to do it. When you're regretting something, it's just like the easy way out. Do you follow me what I'm saying with that?
Yeah. And I think it's a more developed version of regret.
Yes.
I mean, if it's like, I never even thought of it that way because I don't let this thing get that far down the pipe.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Mean, if you're really entertaining regret and thinking about this and thinking about that, fuck, you've gone too far already. You know what I mean? When something happens, I mean, first off, when something happens that didn't work out, let's call it. First thing you got to do is find the silver lining. You find the silver lining, it kind of fucking stuffs a sock in regret's mouth.
Yes.
And so if you're truly have your mind trained, if your neuroplasticity is to find the good in all situations, then you rarely deal with that regret.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So guys, there's my little hang on. My biggest fear every single day as we get into the deep dive discussion daily here. My biggest fear, guys, is regret. And what I do to stay away from it is keep moving. I keep moving, and this show is a big part of that. We get up here every single day. It's in the calendar, and I was actually laughing this morning, Johnny. If folks wanted to dox, dox you and I, like doxing, that idea of cops showing up at your door and SWAT, like cops showing up and doing. It's called doxing, yeah, DOX, or swatting, which is it's this idea where I call the cops on you, and I'm like, yeah, Johnny's holding Terry hostage and doing a bunch of crazy shit, and you have no idea, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there with Terry watching TV or hanging out, and then all of a sudden people are banging at your door, like, what the fuck's going on? And somebody's called the cops on you and called the SWAT team on you, or called this,
does that shit actually happen?
And it happens to live streamers, people that live stream. So right now I can be saying, fuck Johnny, someone's at my door. And I go, because people know that you and I show up every single day here at the same time. And they know they know that we're at our studios. So in theory, I know, right? Just shaking your head. In theory,
Jesus Christ, find something better to do with your time. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
I know, right? So someday, Johnny, when we're sitting in our stadium doing our show, somebody's going to be doxing you and I because, like, yeah, I know John Andersen and Keith Bilous are on their show right now, so I'm going to send the motherfucking SWAT team to their house to see if they're going to answer the door. Let's do the lifestyle tip, and then let's come back with Jorie, Janssen, and then Johnny. Second hour, we got Jack Reamer coming in. Dude, the guy took a year and a half off of email. A year and a half. Then he comes back, and get this. He does sales outreach with a 55% reply rate on his email outreach and his LinkedIn outreach. 55%. That's unbelievable, man. That's unbelievable. That's the guy knows what he's doing. So we got Jack Reamer joining us in the second hour. Before we do that, we got Jorie Janssen joining us. My tease is, guys, I got some vegetables for you that aren't healthy for you. Yeah, that's a true story. Jorie and Johnny, what the fuck's he talking about? I'm going to get off stage. Jimmy, Johnny's got a lifestyle tip. We're going to bring Jorie back in. Let's do it.
So we've been talking about business, and I think one of the biggest issues that business owners or people that are high level in terms of running businesses miss is their own personal self-improvement. The better you are, the better you're going to do at everything. Now, obviously, we're talking about business, but to translate that, if you work on your self-improvement and you truly commit to your self-improvement, you're going to become better. If you want more, you must become more. You're going to get better at running your business. You're going to get better at your health and fitness. You're going to get better at spending time with your loved ones. You're going to be more intentional. So here's the thing. A lot of times people say, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Yes, you do. Because when you spend time on yourself, the most important work a man does is on himself. And the men that understand that excel. Because when you get better, you will get more. What is more? Whatever the fuck you want. Rock and roll.
Good one, Johnny. That's a good one this morning. All right, we're back here with Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get you guys ass out of bed. 8 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and then we're dropping it on the podcast platforms immediately after the show within 30 minutes, so you guys can find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Jorie, what's shaking Miss Janssen with the hair done today? No, Friday. Yes.
Tomorrow I get it done.
Friday
you get to see it.
Thinking about the calendar today. Yes, I'm a little early, so we'll put that on the calendar for Friday. That's awesome. How are you today, Miss Janssen? What's shaking?
Good. Got up and my daughter actually said goodnight to me, but I was sleeping.
Oh.
I'm so happy because she doesn't have to. She's away. I'm super happy.
Oh, that's a nice thing. Yeah.
The needy mom.
That's awesome. So I found something to have some fun with both of you guys today. My two friends who are my food advocates who keep me honest to my food choices every single day. And something to create controversy on our show here today. So the controversy of our discussion today is going to be, Jimmy, here's our hook. Vegetables that are not healthy for you. Because, Jorie, there's got to be vegetables that aren't healthy for you. Like, first of all, I got one. Celery. Non-organic, full of pesticides, full of water. It doesn't do nothing for you. What the hell are you doing eating celery? Guys,
there's nothing wrong with the water. But are you not fucking washing your vegetables? That's kind of on you.
The other thing is, how much celery are you eating?
Yeah. Well, I
think the flip side is, don't think of it like this. It may not be terribly good for you, but it's not bad for you if you wash it.
Okay. So then let's get into some
water
of this.
and fiber, right?
Okay,
yeah, it's like, there's no harm there. There's no harm. I mean, don't stick it. Don't stick it in some dirty place and then put it in your mouth. Now it's going to be bad for you.
So we all think that good morning, Amy Reiner. I see you there in the comments. We all think that you can eat unlimited vegetables, and vegetables are the healthiest food on the planet. Yet, there might be some vegetables that are better than others. For example, potatoes and corn. They're considered vegetables. They are vegetables, but they're high in starch, potentially leading to weight gain if you eat a ton of corn and a ton of potatoes. Jorie, starting with you. Potatoes and corn, can I eat unlimited amounts of them?
And I'm so sorry. But you can't eat unlimited amounts of anything, right?
Yeah, thank you.
You can't.
Jesus Christ.
The other part, though, but I like this. But there are some people, and I'm serious, like I'm not lying. Years ago, I was working with an NHL athlete, and they said, well, I don't eat carrots before a game because they're high in carbs. I'm like, dude, if there's going to be a time you need carbs, it's before a game.
Is that what he's worried about? Carrots before a hockey game?
Right?
Dude.
Right?
Well, and if he's worried about the carbohydrates in a carrot, he better have cooked the shit out of them.
So I'm just saying, like there is a balance, right? But potatoes, especially if you keep the skin on them, I mean, they're high in vitamin C, high in fiber. Carbohydrates are needed. Maybe we overconsume carbohydrates in different ways, like, the potato chip or jelly beans, whatever, right? But from a vegetable source with the fiber content, and if you're also adding in other foods that you need, such as high protein foods, you're likely going to balance out most of the time. And again, when we eat around our plate and eat strategically, if eating certain foods is triggering for some, so start with, your proteins, your more fibrous vegetables moving around, right? So potatoes are all, I would say, I think I texted this to you, Keith, for vegetables that are considered not good for you.
Yeah.
It's good for you at the individual level versus a population level.
Yes. It does. Yes.
Yeah.
Johnny, how do you advise your clients on canned vegetables?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, I advise any way we can avoid the can, we'll avoid the can. Forget vegetables. if we need to use the can, we'll use the can, but we're always going to opt for something that, because the canning process has the potential to damage nutrient.
Yes.
So
and high in sodium.
I'm always, well, I mean, there can be so much shit that's put in. That's a whole nother topic. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Generally speaking, canning presents more shit that we've got to address. So I just say try to avoid the can if you can. But again, that's like avoid the protein shake if you can. You're better off to eat that fucking can of tuna than not have anything. Can of tuna versus a Twinkie, eat the fucking tuna.
Yes. Jorie, bell peppers and eggplant, they're considered nightshades. What's the term nightshade mean when it comes to vegetables? Do you know that term? What does that mean?
So in terms, it's a broad category of vegetables that fall into there, right? So, and what people are finding in some is that those that are prone to higher inflammation, they enhance the inflammation in the body. But I would say for some. So that's why it's really important if you're going to be looking at, I have a lot of inflammation in my body. You don't necessarily have to take all of the nightshade vegetables out, but it's a process. You might take them out and then bring in one at a time to see what's really impacting you, or take them out and other processed foods that are going on probably. As well. Get your gut.
Usually the problems you're having are not the nightshades. It's some of the other dumb shit you're eating.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but I didn't know that. And again, that's why I found this article fascinating, because I did not, I learned something here. Because again, I think that the general population, we're all going to assume that all vegetables are great. And I'm not trying to suggest they're not great. I'm having some fun with you guys. But the reality is I didn't know that bell peppers or eggplants do cause inflammation. So if I am a very disciplined eater and I've cut all ultra processed foods out, yet I'm still battling it, that might be a source of it. Might be might
be next level to look at, right?
I see. Well, let me give an example on that. I'm a perfect example, right? When my diet is right where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Right? If I eat too many nightshades, it'll give me the shits.
Really?
But if my diet, let's just say that I've been traveling and my diet is, say, it's not as good as it normally is, those nightshades won't bother me.
Interesting. Oh, I did not know that. And the other thing,
very individual. It's like the whole category of FODMAPs. So things like onion and garlic, and there's a ton of vegetables and fruit and grains that are considered high in FODMAPs. They're types of carbohydrates.
Oh,
you won't find them in meat, for example. Or but you'll find them in some nuts and seeds, things like that.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that's having a lot of gut issues, maybe IBS, when you take out the higher FODMAP foods for a period of time, and then you slowly bring them back in, oftentimes the gut has a chance to heal, and it's amazing. You're not lactose intolerant. You're not gluten sensitive. So you find these things that it's giving your gut a rest. But because they're longer chains, they take longer to digest. So they'll sit in the gut for a while if you have a lot of inflammation in your body and they're taking way too long to digest.
Interesting.
So you take them out and then slowly bring in, you figure out what the true offenders are, and then you have more liberty in terms of what you can eat.
Yeah. Interesting. I did not know that. Wow. I was expecting to have fun with you guys. You guys are going to be throwing me under the bus with my conversation. You guys are both just teaching me just shit left and right here. Iceberg lettuce offers fewer nutrients compared to other leafy greens. So again, the assumption is I got a big bowl of lettuce on my plate of having a big salad. Yes, Keith, that's good. Don't want to overjudge you. However, there might be some additional greens that are adding additional nutrients to your body, because we know how important micronutrients.
Hold on. Who in the hell sits there with iceberg lettuce with nothing else?
My niece.
Yeah, pretty rare.
Like that.
You know what I mean?
But most people are adding to something. If they're using iceberg lettuce in the first place, which is what I grew up on. It was actually sandwiches, whatever.
Yes.
But we're also adding in, if you like them, like tomatoes and red onion and whatever, right? So you're adding a lot more options, and the olive oil or whatever, vinaigrettes and things like that. So you're adding different things.
Yeah.
Just the iceberg lettuce. Now, the iceberg lettuce is adding water, right?
Yes.
And crunch and texture to the enjoyment of that meal. So I think we have to look at the overall benefits of foods, not just only the health benefits. Also, what does it add to that meal for enjoyment? It's like fats add texture and flavor, not just the nutrients, right? There's texture, flavor. Same thing with something like an iceberg lettuce or celery. It's adding texture and flavor, that sort of thing too.
That's why peanut butter
on that level, there's too many people on this, the kind of the flip side of that. I totally agree, Jorie.
Yeah.
Too many people say, oh, I'm just going to have them. I'm on a diet. I'm just going to eat this lettuce. Oh, it doesn't taste very good. Let me put all this fucking ranch dressing on there. Oh, that's better. Well, fuck. You're moving backwards at this point.
Yeah.
Is it really the iceberg's lettuce fault? No. It's the fucking guy who couldn't stop himself dumping half the ranch bottle's fault.
And that's probably the detail when they're sitting down with each of you, when your clients, Jorie, is sitting down with you, or your client's sitting down with you, John, saying, but I'm just eating salad every day and I'm not having results.
Oh, dude. I gotta tell a funny story. So we were in Tahoe, and we had I'm gonna keep the names.
Yes.
So we had a family member come in, and with the family member there was a female counterpart. And when she ordered this, it was literally it was a wedge of lettuce with some fucking bacon on there. And she had like three. She said, I want the dressing on the side. I'm like, oh, this is going to be beautiful. So the dressing comes out. And can I get a couple more of those sides? So she ends up fucking putting you can't even see the goddamn wedge of lettuce, right? And then about 30 minutes later, she's like, I feel like I didn't eat anything. Well, no shit, because you didn't give your fucking body any nutrient value. You gave your tongue something. Your tongue is fine, but your fucking body's saying, where's the rest? Yeah. So be really careful with this idea of, even the dressing on the side can be a little bit, they think that they're doing something good for themselves. But in actuality, that's just the beginning of them trying to do the right thing. So if you fall into this trap, be careful.
But they always use it all anyway, so I don't really get it.
And it's not even they use it all; they get more. They get fucking more.
Yes, I think on the side is the first mistake a human actually makes, because you're not limiting yourself; you're actually overindulging because you're asking for on the side for everybody else's. You don't want to be judged. You're like,
you've already set yourself up with that. You are now going to be limiting yourself already in your mind.
100%.
You're going to be deprived.
Yep. Yes,
and that's just as much mentally stressful on the body as if you actually ate less.
That's exactly.
And then you got to kind of whisper to the server, "Can I get a couple of more of those?"
Yes. Yeah.
And then everybody's eating, so you can a little bit more comfortably dump your shit on there without being, it's a weird mental space where people live with this shit.
So guys, I kicked off with vegetables that we may not necessarily, I was, joking with that they're not good for you. We may have better choices. So some of the better choices for vegetables, and we talk about them often, but I want to put them on the table right now, metaphorically, but broccoli, sweet potatoes, beets, carrots, Jorie, garlic, asparagus, and mushrooms. I think that's a good cart of groceries right there that somebody can make wonderful meals time and time again with that assortment of groceries. Hey, Jor?
Absolutely. And again, it depends on your preferences. It depends on what you perceive and actually can or cannot digest at this stage in your life. But variety.
Yes.
If we're hyper focusing on one food, then not one food is going to be good for you.
Yeah. What a great conversation. We're talking good vegetables, bad vegetables, and how to put salad dressing on the side onto your salad discreetly with John Andersen and Jorie Janssen this morning.
It's a mental position you've got to be aware of.
It absolutely is. Yeah, it's absolutely a true story. Jorie, what do you got going on today there, kid? Oh, did you meet your boss? Was that today?
I met him yesterday.
And
we didn't talk very much.
Oh.
He was busy getting his computer and phone.
Okay. Yeah.
But seems like he's got a big vision. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah. Change is a fun thing, right? Sometimes it stresses us out, but change is a wonderful thing when we embrace it, right? And the new human beings,
Got to have it. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to, at the very least, allow for some growth and opportunity in that way, right? So, and everyone comes in with fresh ideas, and why not explore?
Yeah.
See where it goes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Jorie, you have yourself an awesome day today. Always enjoy our conversation. We're going to get back after on Friday with Jorie's brand new hairdo. Johnny's going to take.
It might not be a new hairdo.
No, but
I do this.
Yes. He has all this pressure over for, oh my God, Friday, I got to do my hair done. No, we just know. We just know that you're going to get it done. Hey, I'm going to get my hair cut today too, and I might come back out looking like John Andersen later today. Who knows?
I got my hair cut last night.
I noticed. Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, I was trying to grow that thing out, and it was just I was like, I'm just looking like a shaggy old fucker.
Oh, I have to share something before we go. You know how a couple shows ago we were chatting about, maybe annoying things that we or our partners do.
Yeah.
So I have to share something that was really awesome that my partner did.
Oh.
The other night, I really wanted to watch the Oprah Winfrey, the menopause revolution.
Okay.
And I asked him, because that's my stage.
Yes.
And so I said, you don't have to, but would you be willing to sit and watch it with me? And he said, of course. It was so nice. He watched it with me. So
that's awesome. Go.
Jorie, that's really, really, really cool. Because like when what I'll say to Terry is, I say, look, why don't you find something that interests you? And if there's any learning involved, I will be so happy to sit and watch it with you.
Yes.
Because if she's happy and there's some sort of learning going on, I'm good. I'm covered. So it's really nice when your mate is flexible to something like that. So I had to be fun, Jorie.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. So I just had to share that because
I love that.
Cool. Yeah. And so we're watching it and I'm like, I'm going through that. And he's just so supportive.
But you know what's equally awesome about it, Jorie, is that you're having a conversation with your partner, with your husband, and you guys are doing it together around a topic that I don't think, and I'd like to talk about more on the show, but it's about menopause, what our partners go through, what women go through, and men just don't understand it. And men you care.
And that's exactly what I would have thought. I would have thought if I was your husband, I would have thought I thought, okay, well, this is some shit I don't know much about that I need to know more about because she's going through it. So let's fucking watch this shit. That's exactly what would have gone through my mind.
Yes.
Not only am I, but so are the people that he works with.
Yes.
So are our family members.
Yes.
So are friends.
His daughter is going through one day, right? Like all.
If you're a woman.
Yes.
And you are blessed to live to this life.
Yes.
You are going to.
Yes.
You're going to.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really pleased you brought it up. I'm secondly pleased you and Kurt doing that. And I think it's a conversation we need to have more often. And Johnny, we're going to keep doing it here on the show with women and bring it in because we can help educate men on what you guys are going through. And I know my wife's going to be going through it and whatever we can do to help. We're all on the same team, right, Jorie? We're on the same team.
Absolutely. And she might be going through it already. It can start as early as in your 30s, right? So,
can it really? Holy shit! Can it really start that early? I've never heard of somebody going through it that early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Early Perry.
It can be a 7 to a 10-year journey. Yeah.
It's good time.
Meaning it can start and you can have 10 years to go. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And menopause isn't the rest of your life. Menopause is the one day from 12 months of having your last period, and then it's post-menopause.
Good time.
But you can still have some symptoms. I'm taking a course right now.
So, there you go.
This is all shit that I would have learned if I was watching that. That makes perfect sense. I mean,
hey, Johnny, we're gonna introduce a new segment. Call it "Following the Protein Break" with Jorie Janssen. It's gonna be called Menopause with Jorie Janssen, and she's gonna help teach us all about men and the experience that our women are going through in life here. And our good friend Jorie is gonna teach us all the things. Jorie, that's gonna be your.
We'll have the protein break, and then we'll have the pause break.
Yeah.
That's right. She can teach us all of the traps that we should be looking to not step in.
That's right. That's right. And all the emotional cues we need to run from. Right, Jorie? Run.
Or just embrace.
Run or embrace. That's it. All right. We got Jorie. I got a guy in the green room coming up here. Johnny's gonna go for a break. The guy took a year and a half off email. Like, Jorie, the guy left his whole computer for a year and a half. Like, I'm going to go travel with my wife. Did not check his email for a year and a half. And then he comes back. He's running this incredible sales company. The guy gets 55% open rates. Dude, he sends out 10 emails and almost 6 of them are being opened up. That's exceptional in the world of email marketing. So Jack Reamer's coming up. I invite you to check that conversation.
Beyond exceptional.
I know it's just ridiculous. Actually, that's why I hired him. That's why he's doing some work for us. So Jorie, enjoy your day today. Go have a good day today.
It's a busy day, but I think that's a good day. So it's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. I appreciate you,
Jorie.
All right, thanks. See you guys. We'll see you here on Friday.
Yes, we'll see you Friday. All right. Jorie's out of here. John's going to take a quick break. And then, John, when you come back, we're going to bring in the man of the hour, Jack Reamer. Not Jack Reacher, Johnny. No, we left. I couldn't afford Jack Reacher. I did not have the budget for Jack Reacher. So we got Jack Reamer instead. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't worry. I got you covered. Go for your break. And when you come back.
I was thinking you're just having another one of those nutty moments. Just let him go.
Go for your break. I'm going to reset the show. When we come back, we're going to welcome in the sales bread guy, Jack Reamer. Not Reacher. No, I didn't. I guess said, you see, the C comes before the M in the alphabet. And in my experience, the C is more expensive than the M. So I was looking for Jack. I'm like, fuck, I want to get Jack Reacher. I can't afford Jack Reacher, so I got Jack Reamer. And guys, I may have offended him. I met with him a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, what are you? Like, are you in your 40s or late 30s? He's like, Keith, I'm actually 28. I'm like, dude, you got 8 kids. All kidding aside, Jack's got 4 kids. He runs an incredible sales company. I hired him. Why? I did my research. I didn't want to hire some young punk who's just telling me all the shit he knows when he doesn't know nothing. So I was doing research. I'm thinking, I like this guy. Dude, just checking it all out. I'm like, this guy does work that I think is pretty awesome. So he's working for us now. So if you see Jack Reacher knocking on your door on behalf of Uncle Keith, yeah, we want to get you on the show. So Jack Reamer's coming up here in a couple of moments. But before we do that, we want to reset Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And we got the old Highland. You guys know the sound effect. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the Scottish bagpipes. Jimmy bringing us in here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. We get after it. And now we're dropping the podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify about 20, 30 minutes after the show. It depends on how quick we can turn up the old the engine to get all the content post-produced and post out there, but that's what happens. But guys, we kicked off the show today with a big discussion on how long you should be waiting in between your bench press. Are you sitting around doom scrolling? Do you do your bench press and you wait for a minute? You wait for 3 minutes? You wait for 8 minutes? Research is telling us you can sit for as long as 8 minutes and you might get stronger. But as Johnny said, John may have lifted a few things in his lifetime. As John said, guys, if you're sitting around wasting your time in the gym, don't. Listen to your body. Your body knows when you can get into that lift again. So we kicked off the show about how long you want to be sitting around in between sets in the gym. I then got into a topic about how I sold my company for $50 million and what you need to pay attention to. And guys, it's all in the details. And when somebody wants to give you money for your company and you're like, no, I'm not going to give you that, then fuck, you're not going to sell your company. I'm telling you, I've had guys who are like, yeah, Keith, I want you to buy my company. And then I start asking them questions, doing some diligence. Like, well, no, I don't have the answer to that. And I'm like, yeah, but you want me to give you a bunch of money? So guys, you gotta be diligent. The I's crossed, the T's dotted. No, the T's dotted. Jimmy, I don't know. The point is, guys, details matter when you're looking to exit your company. That's the most important thing. And then we got into the deep dive for today's big topic. My biggest fear as an entrepreneur. I revealed it all to you guys at the bottom of the first hour here. What is it? It's the R word. Yeah, it's not the R word you're thinking of. It's the R word that I get fearful of every single day, which is regret. We talked about that. I get up and I get after it every single day because I'm running from it. I don't want to regret anything. Right. So guys, if you're chasing fear, if you're wondering what the hell to do today, get up, get moving, create momentum. When you're creating momentum to create movement, you're going to run away from regret. So I'd invite you guys to get after that as well today. And then we wrapped up the first hour with Jorie Janssen. We talked about vegetables that aren't healthy for you. True story. Now I'm kidding. We talked about vegetables that might be better choices for you. So I invite you guys to sit back and kick into that part of the show here. When we talked about veggies and what's good and what's not good. And now we are going to get into bringing the man of this bottom of the hour. Jimmy, before you bring him in, I want to set it up, man. I want to set this up. And I'm going to set it up just like this. Jimmy, here comes the hook. What happens, Johnny? What happens when a lead gen expert drops everything? Johnny, I mean everything. The guy takes 18 months off. John, who takes 18 months off? Apparently Jack Reamer does. The guy takes 18 months off. He travels the world. He ignores his inbox, just like it's some bad ex. He's like, no, I'm not touching that inbox at all. I'm going to leave it away. And then he comes back. He comes back to a business that's not just surviving, but it's thriving. We're talking 55% reply rates on cold outreach kind of thriving. That is the guy we got coming up here in about a moment. His name's Jack Reamer. He's the founder of SalesBread. Johnny, the guy that B2B companies call when their lead gen is deader than a spam folder on a Sunday. The guy just doesn't do LinkedIn outreach. He rewrites the rules, he shreds the playbook, and he makes your messaging look like it was written by a committee of confused interns. And today we welcome him to the lab. Jack's here to break down how to do sales smarter, not louder. And we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes killing your cold outreach, why AI isn't replacing outbound, but it's exposing the lazy, and the kind of sales messages that make decision makers actually want to reply. So Jimmy, I got the button ready. Let's bring in the man of the hour, not Jack Reacher, Jack Reamer.
What's up, Keith? What's up, John? Good to be here, guys.
Jimmy.
What's up, brother? I don't see anybody yet.
I don't see anybody either, Jimmy.
I can hear him.
You're right.
I can see him on the horizontal screen, but I do not see him on the vertical screen there, Jim.
Let me go to I want to go at least so there where at least I can see you now, brother. Oh, which is there we go. How are you, brother? We got to
get to another screen. How we doing, guys?
I see Jack on the horizontal. We want to get Jack up on the vertical screen as well here, so we're going to get him sorted out there as well. So apparently Jack is good at sending out emails. But he might not. Oh, there he is. We have him now on the vertical stream and the horizontal.
I'm here, vertical and horizontal.
Yes. How are you, brother? Good to have you on the show here.
I'm great. I'm drinking coffee. I'm caffeinated. Let's do this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Reamer, you take a year and a half off of business. I got to go right to this one first.
Let's do it.
You take a year and a half off of business. You don't answer email for a year and a half.
That's right.
How does that work, man?
Well, I'll tell you what, like probably halfway into this, I told, somebody I met in Tokyo, and I was like, I didn't really think about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't checked email in like 13 months. And he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, if you wrote a book called I Didn't Check Email for 13 months, I would buy that right now and read the whole thing and sit down. And it kind of dawned on me that I was like, oh, this is kind of a good idea. But Keith, it started, from this plan of like, hey, my wife and I wanted to have kids, and we kind of realized that like, hey, we have a weird opportunity right now where we have, 3 golden pillars to do fun stuff. And that is, we've got time, we've got health, and we've got some money. And we figured that was not always going to line up. So we said, there ain't never going to be a better time to do it. And we left a really great apartment in San Diego. We said bye to our friends. We sold our cars, and we just like hit the road. And originally we were planning on going for a year. We stretched it to a year and a half just because we were having so much damn fun, man. Went to 5 continents, 6 continents, and basically had like a bucket list year. Doing everything.
So you basically hit the road, said, okay, we're going to go out and experience a bunch of cool places and hump as much as we can along the way.
Damn right.
That's a good premise to a trip, brother.
I recommend it.
Reamer, I got to ask, so to play off Johnny's question, were any of the kids conceived during the journey, or did you guys get to come and do that?
So we were kind of like, oh shit, about having
Christ.
kids. We didn't actually want to have kids until, right, you can imagine the tail end of our trip. Yeah. So we were in Cartagena, and we were like drinking these cocktails called Pero Blancos, and my wife and I like looked at each other, we're like, let's go for it. We knew the trip was rounding up. And so do we have a part Colombian child? Mathematically we don't, but in theory, in spirit we do.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We're talking with Jack Reamer, myself, John Andersen, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. We're hearing about Jack's experience of leaving email for 18 months before he came back to get into business. Jack, so I'm a big fan of the moment behind the moment. When you started the journey, it was all exciting. Share with me as those 18 months were starting to unravel, perhaps the anxiety that started filling up inside of your body as you're looking at the calendar going, this is all over and this journey is over and my time with my wife. And that was scary.
It's not even looking at the calendar. It's looking at your bank account. Like, oh shit, I gotta work again, But I gotta say, like Keith, I was I was in Tel Aviv and we were hanging out with a friend that, you know, is now like not a brother, but really close. And,
Yes.
he one of the smartest guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I was like, oh, and this is basically month 12. And I go, dude, I'm kind of freaking out. I think I need to go back to work. Like I need to, you know, I'll still travel, but you know, I probably will have, you know, a 9 to 5 again. And he's like, dude, don't be an idiot. This is your only chance you have to do such an incredible adventure. Like put it on credit cards and live, because when you get back, you're going to be at work saying, oh, wow, I'm making money, but I can't just rewind the clock. You know what I mean? So I took his advice, and he's like, just keep your podcast going, stay a little bit relevant, but don't work. And that was probably the smartest advice of the whole trip I listened to, because it allowed me to just have more fun. And right now, having 4 kids, I'm like, thank God we just lived it up, because if we want to go to Ohio next week, it's going to require like military level logistics, you know?
Well, yeah, you don't come back and have 1 or 2 kids. You go after 4. You're like, yeah, we're going to have 4 kids. I had a guy on my show that has 8 kids.
No, man.
Like double what you have. So you have 4 of your own. This guy has 8. So you can imagine your military.
What the hell? No, I mean, I'm like, what were we thinking with 4? I mean, thank God they're cute and they look like me, but I'm like, I'm stretched, dude. But it's good. It's another trip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, brother, I would say if I could go back in time, I would have way more.
Way more kids.
Yeah.
How many you got?
Yes, 3.
There you go.
Yeah. So I would. The whole idea of, I mean, granted, in the moment, 8 seems like holy Christ, but at the same time, you think about when it's over. And granted, it's hindsight. You know, like once they're out of the house, it's like fuck. Why it would be so nice if we had like 6 or 7 running around out there.
Damn right.
But you know, when you're in the midst of doing it, you're like, fuck, I can barely breathe right now.
Yeah. So look, John, from a guy who's in it, you know, I got 3-month-old twins, right? And I put them both down last night, first time. So, you know, dad of the year over here.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
But I got to tell you, like when I talk to dads who have been through it, they have this feeling like, man, that was the highlight. This was the best. Like, good for you. But while you're in it, you're right. It's like I am up to here, like I'm barely hanging on, 1 day at a time thing. So it's kind of this like, what is it? Blessing and curse, where
yes.
I'm aware, John, that me and you are on the same page. I am currently in the highlight of my life, and it's killing me.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's one of those things when you get through it and you look back, you're like, fuck, I could have done that. But in the moment, you think like, fuck, you don't have that one extra whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got it, man. But I know it's important. It's beautiful. And I'm going to be right in your shoes when they're out of the house. I'm saying, damn, I wish I had 4 more. I'm sure I'm going to say that.
Well, and then what you do, like in my case, now I just start fucking leaning on them for grandkids.
I love it. Let's do it. I'm already talking to him. Like, you can have some kids. How many? Let's go.
Yeah, but you know what's awesome? Johnny and I talk about this all the time, is that it sounds to me like, as I continue to get to know you, you're living the life that you want, instead of living a life where you're rushing towards retirement and vacations. John and I talk often. We come across too many humans that are in a bad job. They can't wait to retire, or they can't wait to go on vacation. That's not living life. That's like waiting to die. As I get to know you and I'm talking to you as we're working together, you're enjoying life. You're living life, Jack.
Well, don't you? I mean, if you talk to enough people in retirement age, I think that myth unravels. If you really get down to it, the smarter, like, you know, older folks that I look up to and respect, they tell me point blank, don't retire. Keep working for health, for your mental faculties, for your happiness. So retirement's almost an illusion, you know, like my dad's going to be working until he's 90, and, you know.
Well, in the idea, like, I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody shortly out of college asking me some questions, you know, about, hey, one of my middle daughter's friends, hey, you know, your daughter says that you don't ever plan on retiring. I said, yeah, why would I stop doing something I don't want to do?
That's amazing.
And he's like, yeah, he goes, you know, I'm kind of in that stage right now where I'm planning, I'm going to do this for 40 years, then I'm going to retire. And I said, okay, well, what is this? Is this something that you need to, that you're worried you're going to need to escape? Because right now is the time for you to put you can put the energy into doing something that you don't want to do for 40 years. And how do I escape that? Or you can put the energy into, can I do something that I don't want to stop? So it's that little pivot of thought process early in life that most of us are never, it's like a door that most of us don't even know exists.
Yes.
True words, man. And John, I gotta tell you, man, when I did that 18-month trip, I joked around when people would say like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I would tell, "Oh, I'm retired." Just 'cause it was my inside joke to myself. But when I came out of that trip, I was like, I didn't work for a year and a half. I know I wasn't retired, John and Keith, but I got a taste of what it was like. And let me tell you what, you still wake up and you say, oh shit, I'm worried about this. You still have stresses. You still have things, even on the most perfect year I could physically plan. It still isn't pie in the sky heaven. And therefore I feel like I've demystified like that concept. Like, no, you don't even want that. You don't want idle.
That voice in our heads doesn't fucking know the difference what you're doing, where you are. That motherfucker, when you wake up, that motherfucker is going to start talking to you in some fucked up shit no matter what your life got going on.
That's right. And now I can look at it dead in the eye and say, I know that even if I got what you were telling me I need to get to be happy, I'm still not going to be there. So let's just enjoy this thing and the journey, not the destination. It's corny, but man, it's true.
Boom, bang. I listen, I was fortunate to be somewhat semi-retired for the 10 years or whatever it was I was running ICUC. Retirement's not fun. That's why I'm back to work. That's why I'm busting at 14, 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm living my life. I'm getting up, engaging, creating great conversation and great content, just like we are here right now with the CEO of SalesBread, Jack Reamer, on right now. Not Reacher, Jack Reamer. And Johnny, I was telling you this yesterday when I was setting this up for the show here today. The guy runs an extremely successful sales outreach company. And Jack, I gotta hang on this one, man.
Yeah.
A 55% return.
That's good, right?
Dude,
it shocked me too.
That's wild. What was the secret behind that campaign, Jack Reamer?
So it's kind of talking to people like they want to be spoken to, meaning you can't just like reach out cold and pitch them. Let's make a deal, right? Everybody gets that daily and we can see through it. And now it's even worse because a lot of it's like, it's so prevalent to automate this stuff where there's less and less care into the outreach. So what I did to get a 55% reply rate, I'll just tell you, Keith, I would reach out and research the person and say something very specific about what they're proudly sharing on LinkedIn, on their bio, on their sales page. And these were CEOs of their own companies. And I would give them, an honest compliment or a very relevant question to something. So if they ran 10 marathons in 2024, I would say, how the hell did you run 20, those many marathons?
Yeah.
And I'd stop. And they'd say, oh shit, somebody actually is a person and they're reading what I wish more people, like we're all starving for attention.
Yeah. He's fucking paying it. He's paying attention to me.
So I would get him that. And obviously everyone in the world is going to reply to it. But the thing is, that's that foot in the door. That's that psychological principle where like, okay, now there's a dialogue. It's not just a cold one-sided conversation. Now we have a dialogue and the magic, and this is hard to do. I'll be very honest. It's hard to do. But if you can transition from, man, that's fascinating. I took a look at your business. You're doing this? Stop. Yeah, we're doing this. And it's exciting here. Okay, great. And then transition to how you're going to get them on the line about your offer. That's the hard part, but it starts with a human interaction and then tying that into what can you delight them with? What problem can you help them solve? And if you start the right way, you've got so much momentum. You've got it's called reciprocity, somebody does something for you, you want to do something for them. And honestly, I think it's the future of sales outreach. It's going to be a matter of how do we do this? effectively? How do we do this at scale? How do we leverage the tools that can help us have more human conversation?
Yes. Hey, you're with Keith, John, and Jack here, bottom of the yard. John's got to rock and roll here. Jack, do you got a few more minutes to stay around with me? Do you got a couple more minutes to hang out with me? Or do you
I would love to. Let's do it.
All right. So, Johnny, we're going to walk you out, brother. What do you got going on the agenda today, brother?
Today is a non-training day, so I'm actually looking forward to some recovery.
Yes.
My body needs the day of no activity.
I love that. Yeah, we talk about rest and recovery often here, Jack, because we talk about training hard here. We talk about listening to our body. So Johnny A is going to take some time away from the gym today and take care of himself. And you can do some dirt biking today, Johnny?
I possibly will.
There you go.
I want to see. When Tara and I have our 9 o'clock coffee, we're going to decide what the day holds. And since she can't ride, I don't want to say I'm going to ride it. If there's something she wants to do that we can do together, I'll happily do that before I take off on my bike by myself.
Beautiful.
Enjoy, man.
Johnny, final words for Jack before you say goodbye, brother.
Pleasure, brother. Pleasure. And I love the kind of the new discovery that you're tapping into in terms of, reaching out to people with the idea that it's a true person-to-person, human-to-human contact that's making this work. And I think that's, with technology, and this is what's being missed in all this shit. So I love it.
Yeah, and Jack, I'll tell you this too. Johnny and I were talking, man. Jack, we have success with our project together. This young man sitting next to me might be knocking on your door too to find some success as well.
Let's do it, man.
That's exactly what we've been talking about. Exactly. So Johnny's gonna get out of here, and we're gonna continue the show with myself and Jack Reamer. I got a few more questions for Jack I want to get after. Johnny, I love you. See you in 24. Okay, pal.
You got it. Have a good day, guys. Have a good loop.
Later. Thanks,
all right, man. Johnny's gonna get out of here. We're gonna keep going on with Jack Reamer, the CEO of SalesBread. Jack, got a question for you, man. So for someone right now, starting on LinkedIn outreach, what's one quick win they can implement today?
Man, you're giving me the softball questions, Keith. So the reality is there's a whole lot of different groups of people that you can reach out to and do business with. And some are very hard to get your foot in the door, and some are so easy it's barely even cold outreach.
Yeah.
Okay. I call that warm outreach, and I want you to start there. What am I talking about? Excuse me. What am I talking about? These are your college buddies that now work at a company that you've been trying to get into. Hey, Rob, you got to hook me up with a meeting with the CFO. What do we got to do to get that on the table, right? So I tell people, if you're new to cold outreach, stack the deck in your favor and just figure out who already knows and likes you and trusts you. Reach out to them, and as long as there's overlap, as long as they're a potential fit, you're going to get meetings easily with that route. What I hope you're hearing is, don't even worry about cold outreach yet. There's a huge network you're not even cracking, and if you really sat down to it, you're there's a bunch of folks that I could line that up. That I worked with them, now they changed jobs, etc. Start with the easy stuff.
Yeah, Jack. So when I was looking for a partner to help me with my sales efforts, and I landed on you. True story, being very vulnerable and honest with my audience here. I love the work that Reamer's doing, man, doing great work. Because I agree. Because Nation, I agree with this philosophy. The guy doesn't believe in a spray and pray philosophy, and I want to lean into that, Jack. Let's talk about spray and pray, the myth of it.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people get this wrong?
Well, the reality, Keith, that maybe people don't want to tell you is in 2016, 17, 18, and part of 19, spray and pray was awesome. Spray and pray was a lot of freaking fun because TensorFlow, the machine learning thing that made Google's spam filters so effective, wasn't dialed in until spring 19.
Oh, you're dropping nuggets, man.
I swear, come back just before I left on that trip. It was late 2017. I had a client, a startup out in Boulder, Colorado, and they hired me to do at that time, it was just email outreach. Yeah. And I would be cranking out emails, and they're like, we're running in-house stuff too. And I said, what are you doing, by the way? They're like, oh, well, we use this tool called Zen Leads, and Apollo eventually acquired them. And they say they downloaded 2,000 random founders per day and would email them on, get this, one email address, and it was their company email. Meaning you could back then just send to 2,000 people a day on your actual company email without tarnishing it, without going to spam. Yeah.
Dude.
And they're like, it's gangbusters. I mean, we hired you to like do better, but like, we're not even trying, and we're getting like meetings all the time. So why do people like enjoy or think there's spray and pray is like still prevalent? I think it worked amazingly well 2019 and previous, but now the game has changed. And I think that in order to do effective targeting and outreach and sales today, it's just gotten harder. It's gotten tougher. And so this is important. When somebody who's not real savvy is doing outreach, doing sales, and they're like, oh shit, we only got X meetings this month. What's the first lever they pull to get more meetings next month? It's, fuck it, just reach out to more people.
Yeah.
And then you're in this trap because the more people you reach out to, now your more spam complaints you get, the harder it is to inbox, and you have to further reach out to more people. And it's a slippery slope where, so it's kind of like, it used to take one, now it takes four, kind of thing. Like, it's the slope that you can get in trouble with.
So then with spray and pray moving itself out there, how do you keep messaging personalized and effective? But here's the key: at scale.
Right. So I think it's kind of twofold, Keith. The first and honestly, the most important thing is building a better list. So a lot of people are used to just throwing up Apollo, Zoom info, whatever, and saying job title, industry, geography, company size, and we're good. Right. But if you can say, all right, perfect. You've just built a list of 8,000 target accounts. It's time to do some prioritization. How would you go in and take a look and say, all right, to be very honest, 20% of this list is garbage. If I said, gun to your head, you need to book a sales meeting in 1 week, and you only get 100 target accounts to reach out to, which ones would you reach out to? Then you'd start sweating and say, okay, well, let me look at more details. And for example, this exercise sometimes yields, well, gosh, my last 3 buyers were newly hired marketing directors. I think newly hired indicates that they're open to this pitch. They want to get a new vendor. So let's do companies that just have newly hired marketing. And so it forces you to like pinpoint who your real buyer is at the better moment, at the better timing. And then the final element is, now that you have a smaller list of people more likely to buy, you now have the ability to personalize the hell out of that message so that they say, holy shit, it's a person, not a robot reaching out that cares. This is a breath of fresh air. Let me engage with them. Yeah.
I love that. Jack, tell me about your podcast. You have a very successful podcast. And listen, before you answer the question,
it's okay.
I got to throw you under the bus. It is a podcast. And Nation, you know how I feel about, how Uncle Keith feels about podcasts. Podcasts were invented with the VHS and the beta. We record them, we edit them, we make them perfect, then we put them out there. Or you can come
live.
Or you can come to the live environment with old Uncle Keith here every single morning. But Jack, tell us about your podcast, brother.
Thanks, man. So it's the cold email outreach. And as I say it, I'm like, I need to rebrand it. But we started in 2017, and you can imagine we just hung on to that. But basically today, it's a show where my friend Jeremy and I hit record. We don't edit. So hopefully that's a little bit of a plus. Yeah. And we'll just talk about sales outreach, sales psychology, how to get strangers to start to trust you and buy from you. And it honestly, it's so much fun. I mean, imagine you're talking about Harry Potter level witchcraft here, to be able to reach out to someone who's never heard from you and have them read a 3-sentence message and say, all right, yes. And then from there, all right, another yes. And then next thing you know, they're doing business with you. So it's
brilliant.
I mean, it's a superpower, man. It's a lot of fun.
That's brilliant. And the podcast, Apple, Spotify.
Apple, Spotify, whatever the kids are doing these days. Yeah.
And how often do you guys drop? Weekly, monthly? How often?
Weekly for the past 6-7 years. So
that's brilliant.
There's a treasure trove. My suggestion, just probably go to the iTunes page or whatever, and just browse until you hit a topic that's interesting, because there's 400 episodes. Just cruise through there. That's a good starting point.
That's awesome. Hey, Jack, here's a fun one for you. And this was going to affect your business.
Let's do it.
If LinkedIn disappeared tomorrow, where would you go to generate leads?
I'd go back to email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go back to email. I wouldn't want to, but look, when I'm looking at this kind of sales options here, by the way, Keith, the correct answer is something would replace LinkedIn.
Yes.
If it went down, it'd be something else.
You know
It'd be like,
what I've been paying attention to? Are you familiar with Intro? Intro.co? It's a pay to play platform where experts. So I want to connect with Jack Reamer, the CEO of SalesBread, and he sold his company for hundreds of millions of dollars. He's got experience as a sales executive. Right. I can go to intro.co and book a meeting with Jack for $400 or $500. You can get access to like the most influential humans on the planet, man. It's all pay to play, but it's pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, I might look at for guests for my show.
Sure, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
That'd be a good list to scrape. Like anyone who's on intro, just grab them.
The same thing. I was like, Jack, we're right now, but that's okay. Go to intro.co, put your bot on there.
Let's do it.
Names off of there for me.
Honestly, I did the same thing, by the way, with clarity.fm. It's kind of play to play. And we had the founder of Clarity, Dan Martell, on our podcast years ago, and I kind of felt bad scraping his platform. But that's another thing. Like if you're good at sales, if you can write copy, and you understand web scraping, you're you're a rock star, man. You can find people that are hard to find and talk to them in an interesting way. By the way, like the harder it is to build the list, the easier it is to get a reply. So I love this kind of thinking, but I don't know, Keith, when LinkedIn is no longer the cool B2B network, it's going to be something else. And by the way, I'll share, like, SalesBread is my company name intentionally because it used to be emails@sell.com. But I was like, you know what? I can't be like latched to a particular channel because email got harder. So I picked SalesBread that is going to be channel agnostic. So when LinkedIn goes under, I'm going to go to the next, area where people are looking to connect with people in that B2B world. So it's a great question, man. I'm tempted to say email, but I don't know.
Yeah. When I came back into the world, Jack, to build my new company here, I specifically built it on top of LinkedIn because here's my POV. If I could find you and identify you as a human, I know you're a real human, which means you have a wallet. And yes, and it was easier for me to do that on LinkedIn than other platforms. So in my point of view was, okay, I found Jack Reamer. He's got a wallet. He's in my ICP. Perfect. Other platforms, I don't know if you're real or not. So to me, LinkedIn was the place where it's the foundation of my CRM, of all my humans that I'm contacted with. And then from there, I can find Jack on Instagram, on X, everywhere else. But at least I know I start my profile on you on my home base, which is LinkedIn. Is that the right approach, would you say, building a business today?
I always recommend like building a list of target accounts first, and then use LinkedIn to find your buyers at said target accounts. Now, you can also do it the other way around if you're really focused on like these individuals, these entrepreneur types, then those are more brands that you want to approach on LinkedIn, and that's fine. But a lot of times if you're doing like account-based marketing, it's be really intentional with who are your accounts likely to be buying this quarter, and then you use LinkedIn to find the right people.
There you go. So Jack, this has been a lot of fun, man. Let's wrap it up with this. So this show, the mindset that we bring to this show is all about really two things, Jack Reamer: habits and mindset. That to me is the success. That's the reason that's the delineating factor between success and lack of success. So for you, what's one habit or one mindset that keeps you grounded as a founder?
You got to work out every morning, Keith. Just work out, because you know what I found is that, and it's not for the physical benefits, and there's a lot. I hope I live a long time because of it, but I don't trust my brain without a workout in the morning.
Non-negotiable for you, is it? You get up, you take care of yourself first.
So in practice, I will get up, get my kids out the door, and then at about realistically now, I'm going to go hit a workout, and then you talk about like a habit. I'll take my journal out. This is equally important to the workout. I'll take my journal out and I'll just start free forming and think about how I want my day to go. And I'm very careful not to make a to-do list, because again, I need more thoughts, more clarity. And what I do is I go back to my just free form and I'll underline my to-dos. boom, and then I'll make a little list, and I'm gonna have a killer idea. You know, that's it. That's it.
So summarizing your morning routine, your non-negotiables are: you hit the gym, you hit your journal, you get your head into a space, and then you activate your day. Is that fair?
I work out outside. So I'll do, like, I live in Miami Beach. We have like a gorgeous outdoor workout park. Yesterday I did an ocean swim, and just get outside. You know, like, we work a lot. We're under the fluorescent bulbs, so getting some vitamin D, I think, is also like another just a positive lift, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Reamer, working business athlete, working Mornings in the Lab Nation, find you, connect with you, and hook up with you, brother.
All right, so go to salesbread.com. If you're listening to this and you're like, shit, I want Jack to give me some more, like, this was a good taster. Yeah. For your nation, Keith, if you go to salesbread.com/contact and you hit me with a note, say, you know, I listened to your chat with Keith. You can send me any pitch, any LinkedIn message, any cold email you want me to give you notes on. I hope I don't regret that I'm offering this, but I'll give you a little teardown. Just allow me a couple days to get back to you. It'll be within a week. But if you want some polish, some ideas on how to do like good outreach, I'll hook you up. Just say Keith sent you.
That's awesome. Because guys, I didn't have time for this, guys, but Jack does do LinkedIn teardown stuff. So if you want your ego,
I'll be brutal.
If you want your ego bruised, or if you want your ego raised, I'd invite you to sit down with Reamer, and he might pull a Jack Reacher on you and pull apart your LinkedIn profile. But before we go, Jack, I got to ask this, because I'd ask it privately, but I ask it publicly. So hey, I said, dude, we're going to work together, and I want you to experience what we're offering the guys we're looking to invite on the show.
Yeah,
you hung out with me and Johnny for the last 27 minutes or so, and we talked a few times before the show. First impressions of your Mornings in the Lab experience
I'm buzzing, dude. I'm ready to get it.
So you're gonna walk out of here. You're gonna do your morning workout, and you're gonna get after it today, right?
I'm gonna get after it. I loved it, man. This was awesome. So positive.
Awesome. Jack Reamer, I appreciate you, brother, and you're welcome back here anytime, my friend. And I look forward to connecting with you later today, okay?
Yes, sir. All right, Keith. That was awesome, man. Have a killer day.
All right, Reamer's out of here, Jimmy, and you and I are going to wrap it up. Woo, baby, that was a fun conversation. Jack Reamer, not Reacher. No, Reamer, joining us from Miami Beach. Far away from Winnipeg, Canada, Jimmy. Yeah, just up the road there. Just up the road in Florida. Not. Woo, that was a good conversation. He's got energy. I got energy. I feel like I can go climb a mountain right now after hanging out with Reamer. Dude, that guy was fire. That guy was fire. Like that. You guys are looking for a sales outreach, dude. You have to look no further. How do I know? Because I hired him. So I'd invite you guys to do the same thing. You know, he hasn't even delivered me results yet, but I just know he's good. The guy brings energy. So go check out Jack Reamer's Sales Bread. And why did I hire him? I'll tell you guys why I hired him. I love his processes. I love his attention to detail. I love that he's all about not the spray and pray. He's all about the diligence, finding the targets that are going to hopefully buy the product, right? So, guys, I could not encourage you enough to go check out Jack Reamer at SalesBread. If anything, he'll rip apart your LinkedIn profile and help you guys move forward. And listen, when we're getting advice, it's about help, right? So, okay, we're going to do the Creator Spotlight, Jimmy. What did I say, Jim, when we started the show today? Yeah, we're going to be done by quarter two. Yeah, that's not where we're at here today. So, because we just like to talk. The conduit of conversation comes to you every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here. X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course on Apple Podcasts and Spotify after. Okay, Jimmy, I'm going to get to the LinkedIn Creator Spotlight right now. I am opening up the notes in front of me, and I'm getting to the conversation that starts boom, 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 just like this. AI, yeah, we talk AI all the time. AI isn't just disrupting industries. No, it's reshaping who gets to lead them. And while the world chases the same headlines, there's a quiet revolution happening in places most people aren't watching. Not hype, not noise, nope, just builders solving real problems with real intelligence. And at the center of all that, a founder who asked a better question. What if the next generation of AI leaders is not in Silicon Valley? Today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to introduce you to Mark Banoob. Mark is the founder of Lyrise, a platform helping companies build AI teams and agents faster, smarter, and more globally connected than ever. The dude's rocking it. Mark's not waiting for opportunity. Who waits for opportunity? No, he goes and creates it. No, he's creating it at scale, training engineers, building local talent pipelines, and putting the Middle East on the global AI map. His vision, not just bold. Nope, it's working. He's proving what's possible when purpose meets execution. So guys, if you're interested in the development of AI and its impact on global industries, I invite you. Go follow Mark Banoob on LinkedIn, because the guy's not following the AI wave. Nope. He's leading it. He's leading the next one. So guys, Mark Banoob, LinkedIn, the Creator Spotlight, Community Corner. We're celebrating him. Go hang out with him. Go connect with him. Go say hi to him. Go say, hey, I heard Keith celebrating you this morning on Mornings in the Lab. And Mark, we'd love to have you on the show. Yeah, true story. Love to have you on the show and take the old Mornings in the Lab light and shine it on somebody in your orbit. Woo, baby. Yes, that's it, Mark. Okay, we also know we like to do somebody on the Substack side of things because we have a business, a platform inside.bappel.ai. Guys, if you're looking to lead a conversation, if you're looking to lead your community, it all starts in the morning. It all starts in the morning. When you start the conversation, you set it. If you want to be a leader, if you are a leader, you start in the conversation. You're setting the conversation. You're leading your folks through conversation. Well, we're doing that every single day and teaching folks how to do that on the Substack platform. But guys, we got somebody here we're going to celebrate right now. Do you ever get the feeling that the world doesn't just feel chaotic, but wounded? We see the symptoms everywhere. Conflict, disconnection, division. What if those symptoms trace back to something deeper? Not just personal pain, but collective trauma passed through generations, buried in systems, echoing in how we relate to each other every day. Now, most people don't want to touch that, but today's Substack creator does. His name that we're going to introduce you today, his name is Matthew Green. Get this, guys. Ears up on this one. Former war correspondent turned healing correspondent. He's building something rare, a media platform dedicated to exploring how we actually start to heal, not just individually, but together. He's got a newsletter. It's called Resonant World that maps the invisible. It's part personal journey, part field report from the frontier of collective healing. Matthew doesn't pretend to have all the answers. He just asks better questions. What if the trauma lives in our systems, not just our stories? And what if the journalism could lead us to feel again instead of numb it all out like much of it does? And what if healing isn't just possible, but necessary for real change? If you're curious about how we actually start to repair the world, I invite you to subscribe to the Resonant World. And this is Journalism with Soul, brought to you by Matthew Green, who we're celebrating this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends in the Creator Spotlight. And Matthew, here's how it works, brother. Love to have you on the show so you can celebrate somebody in your orbit for the next upcoming Community Corner Creator Spotlight. All right, Jimmy, that's it, man. I'm starting to do the dance here. The dance that happens when my bladder is saying, Uncle Keith, there's something calling you over there. Yeah, it's a true story. So on behalf of myself, John Andersen, C. Marty Fit, Jorie, Janssen, Jack Reamer, producer Jimmy, producer Melissa, everybody behind the scenes to make this show come to life. We're back here tomorrow, less than 24 hours. Yep, true story. Mornings Live with Keith and friends, we get it. Tomorrow's big show is going to be about how to quit multitasking. When you do that, your productivity is going to skyrocket. We're going to get into that tomorrow. And coming up later in the day here in a couple of hours, we got John Kraske joining me live in the lab with Keith Bilous. Yep, we're bringing it back. The live 100,000 followers on LinkedIn without cheating. No cheating, no vanity metrics, no engagement pods. It's just pure hard ass work. Kraske, me, 11 o'clock Eastern time. No, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Yeah. 11 o'clock Central, I think. Anyways, we'll see you guys later this morning. Live in the lab with Keith Bilous. Coming up here. Oh, let me see here. Jimmy put something in my feed here. Oh, maybe not. Well, I hold on, nation. I'm just checking my notes here. All right, so I love live. So I got a message from Kraske. Kraske, I love you, brother. Kraske's my good friend here. Johnny's a good dude. You guys know who John Kraske is? I invite you to go follow him on LinkedIn. The guy is a machine. He's creating great content. Jimmy, I just got a text from Johnny here, and truthfully, I'm like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. The guy is. We're trying to get him to 100,000 followers. The guy's at 99,995. So if we get to 100, we're gonna do a show later this morning. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. But guys, you know where to find me. 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Uncle Keith's got to go to the restroom. Where's my music, Jimmy? Where's my extra music? There it is there. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Yep. Jimmy, let's get the hell out of here, man. I'm done talking.